Hello guys, welcome to my second video on indices. Now, if you haven't watched our first video, I recommend that you watch the first video where we stated the laws of indices, and then now you can proceed with the second video. In this video, we're going to do some simple questions on indices. Let's go straight to the questions. Question 1a, we have m power 5 multiplying m power 3. From the first video, we learned that if you have a base number raised to a given power multiplied by the same base number raised to a different power, the multiplication sign becomes an addition for the powers. So we'll be having m power 5 plus 3. That means your answer will be m to the power 8. Number 2, as you can see, we will be having m power 8. And for division, the second law of indices states that for the powers, you'll have to subtract them. So our answer will be m power 8 minus 2 is 6. The third law of indices will be applied to question number C, I mean, sorry. And the third law of indices states that in such a case, you'll have to open the bracket by multiplying the powers. So m power 3 bracket everything to power 2 will become m power 3 times 2 is 6. Now, let's face a bit more challenging questions, like number 2 right there. They're saying simplify m power 9 multiplied by m power divided by m power 5. You'll realize that this m here should actually be m to the power of 1. Okay? This simply means it's m to the power of 1. It's not m power 0, because remember, any number raised to power 0 is 1. Okay? Now, this is not a 0. This is not, it's not a 1, sorry. That means the power of m there is not 0, because anything raised to power 0 is 1, like 100 raised to power 0 is 1. So our m, which looks lonely right there, we take the power of 1 and place on it. Then you can now solve our math. Starting with the numerator, we'll have m to the power 9 plus 1, first law of indices. You'll get m power 10. The denominator does not need any simplification, so we'll simply bring in the denominator and join it with the numerator. So we have m power 10 for the top terms, and then there's m power 5 at the bottom. Now, we realize that m power 10 has been divided by m power 5. Basically, these maths can be rewritten in this manner, which makes it even much more easier to apply the second law of indices. That means we'll be having m, and for division, we subtract the powers. We end up with m power 5 as our answer. All right, let's move to number 3. Now, you can always test yourself by simply pausing this video a little, and then you try number 3, and then you resume the video and check if you get the same answer. So w power 4 multiplied by w power 4, we'll have w 4 plus 4, because that's a multiplication right there. That means our answer is w power 8, because 4 plus 4 is an 8. A power 6 divided by a power 3, we'll have a, that's a division, so our powers will be subtracted. We'll have a power 3. Match the expressions. Again, as I said, you can pause the video and test yourself just for some few minutes, and then afterwards you can resume the video and check if you're right. Those are one of the best ways of learning based on the examples that we have done so far. So they're telling us to match the expressions. If you look at expression 1, c power 10 divided by c power 5, we know that the powers will subtract, so we expect a c power 5, because 10 minus 5 is 5. So this one will match to the second one. The second expression here, c power 7 multiplied by c power 3. The powers will add, so we expect a c power 10. You can match that guy right there. The third one, we have to open the bracket by multiplying the powers. That will give us a c power 16. That is the third law of indices. As I said, the third law of indices, laws of indices were highlighted in the first video. You might want to go and check those. C power 6 divided by c power 4. Now, this is a division. Let's not forget that this is a division. So we'll be having 6 minus 4. That's a c power 2. And that's done. All right, let's move to the next number. Simplify the following: s power 3 multiplied by s power 4 divided by s power 2. As usual, we'll start by solving the numerator. Numerator is s power 3 plus 4, because that's a multiplication between the s's. So we'll have s power 7. Okay. Then we have to solve the denominator, which is basically just an s power 2. So if we combine these two, our numerator is s power 7 divided by s power 2. For division, law number 2 applies, where we have to subtract the powers. So it has to be 7 minus 2. You get s power 5. And that is our answer. All right, number 6. Yeah, the negative 5 right there makes it a bit more tricky, but don't worry. You just have to apply the guidelines of a number line. I believe at this point, everyone has done a number line at one time in school. So if we have w power 3 multiplying w power negative 5, the law of indices, first law of indices states that we add the powers. So we'll have 3 added 2. Now the next power is not a positive power, it's a negative power. So we have w raised to power 3 plus negative 5. Now 3 plus negative 5, if you punch your calculator, what do you get? I believe you'd get negative 2. So our answer should be w raised to the power of negative 2. Of which in our first videos, guys, we said if you have a number raised to a negative power, that can simply be written as the reciprocal of that number. Okay, so w power negative 2 can also be written as 1 over w to the power of 2. Now let me just remove that. All right, let's go on. Now, simplify a power 4 divided by a power negative 2. We apply the same technique. We'll have a power 4. Now, because this division, laws of indices, says that we subtract the powers. So we'll have to do 4 minus, and the next power is a negative number. So we'll have a 4 minus minus 2. That means we'll have a power positive 6, because minus and minus brings a plus. So we'll have a power positive 6. All right, number 7. We have 2a power 3 c to the 3 multiplied 3 a to the power of 2 and then c. So in such a case, guys, all you need to do is work out the numbers separately and then work out the letters separately. So we have 2 times 3. 2 multiplied by 3 right there. So 2 into bracket 3. All right. And then multiplied by, we have a power 3 being multiplied by a power 2. And then we have c power 3 being multiplied by c. Remember, this one simply means it's a c power 1. Okay? This guy right here. It means a c power 1. All right, let's see. 2 times 3, that will give us a 6. a power 3 multiplied a power 2, that will give us a power 5. And then c power 3 multiplied c power 1 will give us a c power 4. All right, that's the answer for this math. Let's get to number 8, and the number 8 looks interesting, but it's just a little bit different from this number 7, because in this case it's a division, but we use the same technique. So we'll just take the numbers, solve the numbers separately, then the letters separately. So we'll have n power 5 divided n power 2, and then we have n power 4 divided n power, actually it's just power 1. All right, so the first term there, 10 over 2 is 5. The second term, m power 5 divided m power 2, we'll get m power 5 minus 2. The third term is n power 4 divided by n. So we'll have n power 4 minus 1, because the second n has a power of 1. So this one simplifies to 5m power 3 n power 3. All right, let's go to number 9. That's the third law of indices we'll apply over here. And now you need to be keen, because inside that bracket we have two different terms. There's a 2 and there's m power 4. So if we are to open the bracket using the outside power, we'll have to distribute that power to each term, each of the two terms. So the power 3 will be distributed to 2 and also to m power 4. Okay, so we'll have 2 power 3, and then we'll have m power 4 multiply 3. Okay, that's the third law of indices. Just for me to repeat it again, if you haven't, if you're watching this this video without watching the first one, then you might have some trouble following what we're doing here. So you might just want to go back to the first video on laws of indices. The very first video, it's called Indices 1, and then you can come back and follow our working over here. All right, so we have 2 power 3 and m to the power of 12. So we can leave our answer like that, now that it's not specified, but we all know 2 power 3 in our calculator will give us an 8. So an 8 multiplied by m power 12 is still an answer. All right, number 10. All right, let's look at number 10. So here you'll have to be careful. There is that law of indices where we said if you have a number raised to a fraction power, the denominator of that power becomes the root, if you can remember, and the numerator of that power becomes our power. Okay, so you just place it there, but you take the denominator, you put it as the root, so nth root of a to the power of m. Okay, all right, so let's see. We have a power of 1 over 5 multiplied by a power 2 over 3. Actually, this one we can simply use the first rule of indices to solve the numerator. We'll have a power 1 over 5 added to 2 over 3. Those will be our combined powers for the numerator. All over, the denominator stays the same, a power 3 over 5. Now at this point, you can just take your calculator and work out 1 over 5 plus 2 over 3. Okay, so if you work out 1 over 5 plus 2 over 3, let me just see this. I forgot to carry my calculator today. So 1 over 5 plus 2 over 3, LCM would be 15. 5 into 15, 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 3 into 15 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So we'll have 12 over 15. Huh? So we'll have a here to the power of 12 over 15 Is it 12? It's actually 3. These are 3, yeah? You have to be very keen in mathematics, because 5 into 15 was 3 times. 3 times the 1 up there is a 3. Yeah, so a power 13 over 15. And then the denominator, we have a power 3 over 5. We can continue solving this further, because a power 13 over 15 is divided by a power 3 over 5. So we'll have a single a, then you combine the powers, the third law of indices. What will we do? Let me first of all just break it down clearly. That math can also be written like this. Okay, that's how the math can also look. And then we'll have a, and then we can combine the powers using the third law of indices, where we use a subtraction for the powers. Okay, so 13 over 15 minus 3 over 5. Again, that for anyone who doesn't have a calculator, this is the best way to go. Just ensure your working is accurate. So 3 over 5, LCM is 15. So 15 goes into 15 only once. 1 times 13 up there is 13. Subtract. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times the 3 up there, you get 9. Then you do 13 minus 9, you get 4. So our answer should be a to the power of 4 over 15. Okay. That's the answer. All right. Then number 11, which is our last question, they're saying simplify fully. So over here, there's actually the place where you'll need this rule right here. Okay. Where you have a fraction power, and you really need to make the denominator of that fraction power to be a root. So we'll borrow that idea here. There's a square root of 50 pi a power 5 all over 2 pi a power 3. This is a square root, okay? It's a square root sign. So let me just show you how we'll do this maths. A power 5, 2 pi a power 3, okay? Now this is a square root, and because this is a square root, it means you can take it up to be a power, okay? And guys, I need you to notice this. Up here, generally there is no power, okay? So it's like a 1, okay? It's not a 0, but it's a 1. If it was a 0, then this whole thing could be 1, but it's not 1. So that means the power up there, the power that we cannot see, it's a 1 actually, and not a 0, okay? So how do we do this? We take the square root and change it to a power. So we'll have 50 pi a power 5 over 2 pi a power 3, and that root is written as a power. Okay, if you remember from our first video, the 1 over 2 up there, we treat 2 to be the root, okay? And then we take the, sorry, that's a root, and then we take the numerator to be our power, okay? So our maths is much more easier to solve this way than when it had the root sign, okay? That's the beauty of knowing the laws of indices. It helps us to simplify maths much more easily. Now, we have 50 over 2. I told you to always separate the like terms. So 50 and 2 can be worked out separately. And then we have pi and pi. And then we have a's. The a's are a power 5 and an a power 3. And all these, do not forget, are raised to power half because of the root sign. Okay? So 50 over 2 will solve to 25. Okay? Pi over pi, we know they'll cancel out. So that's basically 1. And then a power 5 divided by a power 3. Division means you subtract the powers, you get a power 2. So that's our answer, and all this is raised to 1/2. So we apply the third law of indices now, which states that we have to open that bracket by distributing that power inside the bracket. So we'll have 25. We have to distribute this power this way to the 25 and to the a squared. Okay, so we'll have 25 raised to power half multiplied by a raised to power 2 times half. Okay, the third law of indices says that you have to multiply the powers. All right, now 25 raised to power half. Remember, the bottom number or the denominator of the fraction power is the root. So it's like we are saying square root of 25 multiplied by, we have an a, 2 will go with 2, so it's just a power 1. Now, square root 25 is 5, and a power 1 is a. And that's it, guys. Those are just 11 simple questions on indices. I hope you guys learned something from this. Remember to subscribe to my channel and like my videos. Remember also to drop in the comment sections any suggestions, anything that you may need me to improve, and any topics that you may want us to be doing over here. Thank you, and have a good time. I'm Mr. Wilson.